Ladies and gentlemen, Side Strafe back with some more World of Tanks, and thank you very much, T50. You just need one more to be toast. Come on, come on, we've got this. As you can see, we are in a Tiger 1 German Tier 7 Heavy, and while it's definitely not the best of its class, I'd take a T29 American Heavy any day. It's got its moments. It's pretty accurate. It's another sniper. It is a heavy sniper. And if you do much more than that, you're asking for trouble. Because as you can see, this thing is a box. And without sloped armor, it is not going to bounce a whole lot. Unless you give the enemy parts of your side armor. At certain angles, you will guarantee a bounce. But usually requires a certain area, a building in front of you or some sort of cover that allows you to do that. It's known in the community as side scraping. Right now here I'm just struggling to find a position to be able to snipe. So hopefully we can grab some cover here with these trees. And I just had something, but I've lost them. Not so sure right now. There's a KV-3 that's going to get hit right now. There we go. T-34 is also exposed. Actually, he's going to be my only target at the moment. 248. And this is pretty much what you want to do with this Tiger. Hide, take cover, snipe, support other heavies. You've got enough hit points to get into a brawl, worst case scenario, but I wouldn't suggest it, at least not at the start of the game. T-34 and KV is undercover. Is he going to try to peekaboo? No, looks like we've got a building in front of us. Alright, what else is going on? Other sides of the map? Can't tell. Now, we do have all the final upgrades with this tank. We do have full equipment, loadouts, and the crew is 100% on our way to getting some of our perks. And let's see, can we get one of you out in the open? 2 T-34s. I would definitely like to rid the world of you. Don't want to get hit by your massive guns. And let's see if this guy comes past this building here, and no idea where he's at. He stops just short of perhaps exposing himself, but he's actually not even where I thought he was going to be. He's behind a hill. It looks like he's in the waterway, so that's why I can't even see him. I thought he might have been coming outside of that building there. So we have taken a few of these guys with us. I'm wondering if I can perhaps, let's see, get to an area to close in on them. I think that if I maybe drive myself up to that house, we could start to intervene a little bit. Yeah, at this point we've taken out half of their team. I'm going to start making my push. Lion. We don't want to stop out in the open like this.
Target acquired.
Just want to keep my eyes on them.
Where'd they go?
Alright, so what do we got here? Not an amazing shot here. There we go. 220. And do we have a shot on this KV-4 since we lost? Alright. Nope. He's backed off a little bit. KV-13. T-150. Finishing him off. KV-4 is going to be our next target. No, he's backed off again. Same location. Hit, no damage. Maybe tracked, though. Yeah, I think I see his track broken there. There we go. That's what this is all about. let's see. We can... What's he going to do? He's going to try to push all the way back. I don't know if there's an opening here because we can't see with all these trees in the way. Just barely. 248. One more shot will finish him from anybody at this point, I think. Unless it bounces. He's done. Alright. Let's see what we've got up front. Guess we'll cross over this bridge. Do I have eyes on that IS? Nope. Where's this guy at? Oh, just a bit of him past me. I'd love if he would back up. That would be awesome. Yeah, you read my mind. And he's tracked. And somebody else is probably going to finish him. But let's see if we can get the final shot. Yeah, there we go. Not bad at all. And that's it. That's game. So I guess that was a pretty decent example of how I would play the Tiger 1. Use it as a sniper. You can throw your weight around sometimes. It really depends on the game. You have okay armor for a heavy, but again, it doesn't really match up to some of the others. If we take a look, I've got the British Black Prince. 152 hull, 152 turret. And then we take a look at the American T-29. 279, insanely awesome turret, but not so great on the hull. But we do have some sloping here. And when you go back to the Tiger, that only has 100 hull and flat, mostly flat. You can see that the angling is very slight there. You're not going to bounce anything. It's very rare. You'd be hard pressed to bounce, and it would have to be from some sort of light tank or something. So what you really have to do is hide this front armor by a building and just angle this out so that no matter what they do, they're going to keep hitting their side armor or your tracks, and it's just going to keep deflecting, bouncing off. The gun mantlet is not so great either. You can actually pen this pretty easily depending on what you're throwing at it because it's, flat 100. Not curvy at all. And of course, everything else on it's going to be weak. Typical German tanks, they can be prone to fire damage. You got to watch out for that lower glacis. You want to protect that. And yeah, honestly, I feel like I'm saying this a lot because of a lot of the tanks that I choose, but you have to usually sit back and snipe and wait for those opportunities where you can go in and support the other heavies and then make a push. Mid-game, if you've taken out 50% of the enemy team, sure, you can lead a charge. You've got enough hit points to take some damage and get in there, and the armor will hold up against lower calibers. So it really it's situational. But, again, it's not a brawler. It's going to get tore up close quarters by other tanks such as the IS series, which are just designed to go in, take shots, and blast you with their shotgun cannon. So really, I like to snipe with this bad boy. And you can see we've got it loaded out for typical loadout, I guess. It doesn't have the ability to get a vert stab like the American T-29 or the British Black Prince. So that's kind of the advantage for those tanks. We do have our crew with abilities on the way that I think... Sorry, wrong tank. Same abilities, though, so it doesn't matter. That I think will be necessary, that I prefer. I don't usually like going repairs first, even though a lot of people swear by it. But, again, my motto is to not get hit in the first place. But, taking a look at the tech tree... We've managed to grab the final gun, final engine, which makes a fairly large difference, but it's kind of a grind to get to it. And then we're going to eventually work on getting into the Tiger 2. So that is that tank. It is something that most people look at getting when they get into this game as a newbie. They think, oh, I got to get the mighty Tigers. They have such a reputation in World War II. And, well, unfortunately, this is not World War II. This is not a game based on realism. It is an arcade vehicle game. It's not what you think it is, and the Tiger does not maintain that reputation. You have to remember, in World War II, the Germans were outclassing tanks. They were fighting tanks with low caliber guns that were only designed to take out infantry or light vehicles and do bunker busting. That's what the Sherman was primarily designed for. It was never built with the idea of taking out other tanks. That's why they invented the whole tank destroyer doctrine and started including those tank destroyers with the weaker tanks. And it wasn't until much later, and they said, you know what, this is enough. We got to put bigger guns on these things and just come up with bigger and better tanks to fight these Germans. So that's what you had there. So in some cases you'd have multiple Shermans or even different British variants, Cromwells and whatnot, trying to fight against these Tigers and just not having much luck. And really the only thing that would work is the Tiger breaking down, because they were so over-engineered that they were a pain to work on, and something would go wrong on them. That was pretty much it. But again, this is not real life. There's no breaking down. It's just the way it is. So you have to look at its strengths and say, hey, okay, fine, heavy sniper. Let's play it like that and figure it out. It's not an easy tank to get into. It's definitely not newbie friendly, because you're going in with that mentality, that mindset that this thing had some sort of reputation. So you really got to be careful with that. So general consensus, not even just my opinion. Again, if you want other people's opinions, sniper heavy. If you know how to angle that side armor, you can work some miracles. But we'll see how this goes. We're going into close quarter territory here. And this can be deadly, but we can use these buildings to our advantage. We only see one heavy so far. But again, this video is mostly showcasing the tank for those of you that are new to the game. I'm sure most of you are aware of what this tank is all about, since it's been with the game since the earliest of days, I suppose you could say. See, there's no artillery, which is interesting. How far up is this IS going to want to go?
Looks like that one went right through.
So we'll just take him out from distance. And we've lost him behind structure. Ow. Okay, that AMX has me, though. Let's see if he wants to take the shot again. I'm not sure where he's at, because there's like a little arch there, I think, that's protecting him. This is weird. Son of a gun. I don't see where he's at. I'm not getting a crisp silhouette. I think he's coming out through some of the arches and taking shots on me, and as you can see, he's just slamming me right in the front. Junk armor. So this is where we need to change our tactics a little bit and figure out. Well, I think he's been pushed back, so we're gonna rush towards the church, as he's getting slammed anyway. So I'm actually just gonna help out here with the IS, and we'll finish these guys off. There we go. Teach you to shoot at me twice. How about this IS now? We'll come in from one of these flanks, perhaps. And... oh, I don't even know if I hit him. Somebody got to him before I could. Not necessarily using this as a sniper right now, but again, this is what the situation is presenting. If we can get our eyes on the roadway here, we can take these guys out at distance. One down, AMX 1375 left. He's behind that rock. Will he pull back or stay? Looks like he's standing his ground, or perhaps he's tracked. He's done. I'm going to actually RTB, because sometimes I think, oh, we got enough at base, we'll be fine, and we get capped. So I'm going to sacrifice myself to defend the base. There are a couple of contacts at the enemy base as well, but If we can secure the base, then that'll buy us more time. Because we're getting taken out. Sometimes your instinct is to push the base, push the enemy base, and perhaps cap first. But sometimes it's just better to go back, clean up, then roll. But now it's all about setting up in a good location here, because we know that from this point it's hard to see over this hill. Ideally, I want to get to that building where the SU is. Then just work on our armor angling. But actually, I might take a turn, since they've made it all the way up, I might go for the mountains instead, because I'll never make it to that building in time. At this point, we're going to buy time. That's all we're going to do here. Just hold them back so that our team can cap, because we have a force at their base. We've got 2 tank destroyers and myself here in pretty good health, so I think we can do it. I don't really have a good spot here to angle myself, but I'm going to just try to hold the line. Back up, reload, come back in. What do I see on you? 290 on the VK. We've got this game. Again, the front, everybody aims at the Tiger front. They know it's like, well, that's how you get that thing. I just don't have a good spot here, really. We do have a tank destroyer trying to get us at their base. Alright, we've taken as much damage as we can, really. But hopefully we've bought some time. Looks like we've got a friendly fire team killer. I'm assuming it was an accident. We still have a TD at the enemy base, perhaps buying time as well. Gunner's out. I'm going to go ahead and bring him back into the fight just in case. Alright, so now we've got this problem. The enemy TD is down. And Lion is gone. And we're still alive, and that's fine. I had to get a little defensive there. I wanted to make sure that worst case scenario, if everything hit the fan, that I might still be alive, at least to take one more shot. We did take a lot of damage there. I got hit pretty much all on the front armor, and definitely not a good example of how I would play the tank. So not a great game, and always room for improvement. But with that said, ladies and gentlemen, this has been my brief look at the Tiger 1. I will continue to play around with it, perhaps try to get better and learn some new tactics. Again, this tank does require a little bit of practice because it's a heavy sniper, and you're not usually dealing with those kinds of tanks on a regular basis. But we'll try to make it dance and see where it goes. So, again, thank you so much for joining me, and I'll see you on the next one.